Are we live? Lit. This is a kind of cute shot. Okay. Oh. Said power off. I thought it was already off. In any case, grand rising family. My name is Angelique. And I am an artist, the artist, here to share some creative space with you. Titled this stream, Happy FRI-YAY. And I got paper today. We also have breakfast. Okay. So it's going to be a little bit of a munch stream. But I realized I have my last sheets of watercolor paper. And I keep being like, I need to go to the supply store. I need to get paper. I need to get pens. I need to get paint. And here I am on my last legs. And it's one of those things where I think it's like, your mind is like, oh, well, I still got some somewhere. There's some somewhere out there. But reality, it's 2 pages and it's not sufficient. So, peanut butter bagel. Crunchy peanut butter bagel. Great way to start your day. Okay. Unless you don't do the carb thing, then would not recommend. Or the gluten thing, then probably not. But if you are a basic eating son of a gun like me, then definitely try to use some bagel with crunchy peanut butter. Don't go. So good. Okay. I did my yoga this morning. So I have on my schedule to stream from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Fridays. But I think, it's just me, working all of this stuff out. I think I'm going to do it after 6 o'clock. Like 6 to 8. And only stream for a few hours. Something that I did realize that I don't have? A pencil. Like just a pencil. It's literally 2 pages in here. But we still have our color pencils. So we're just going to use those. Because we don't really erase things in this household. Okay. I did not get that from my mama. Because when I was in school, she definitely was like, if you make a mistake, you erase it completely. All the way. She would actually make me erase it all the way. I want to do the screen. we'll use this green. I know a lot of people like sketch with red or like a blue. Let's try green. All right, let's try this Vice green. Can you see that? Nope. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of that until we get an actual camera. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into something. I've been kind of wanting to do something bigger. So we're gonna go ahead and frame up the whole page. Let's see. And yes, I still have the sticker on it. Don't at me. So the other day, Jose was doing boats. And I was like, oh, boats are a thing, aren't they? You'll just be out here in these streets, right? People like boats. Rich people like boats. Okay. Not to say that my work is geared towards the wealthier people, but I don't want to press nobody's pockets to buy my artwork, you know? I want it to be mutually pleasant. You feel me? I want you to feel like, oh yeah, I got this. And I want to be like, oh yeah, I gave it to him. Do it to him. Do it to him. I think my thing is sometimes I feel like the bigger the page, the more stuff I need to put on it, but that's not necessarily true. Let's see. Let's get you over here. That's my bagel. But that is not necessarily true. How you see that? You can see the page. But I don't know if you can see what's on it just yet. But that's okay, we'll get there. Yeah. Either way, I'm gonna be alright. I've been trying to like look at folds and stuff. Well, not trying. I have been staring people down, y'all, because I'm an artist and I'm studying. See, this feels a little too lifted. Feels like there should be something right here. Let's get a little under the surface action. Under the surface. Getting turtle vibes. Some sea turtle vibes. see. See, I feel like this is the part where I'm like, it just gets to be a little too much, but it doesn't matter. It's art. We're just here to have fun, right? We're just here to have fun. Fun. Get this. This job is like a big ass, just a big ass something here. I don't know what it is, but it's big. Ocean. All right, so let's just get right onto this. Again, this is my first time doing like one a bigger page. Um, I usually get kind of intimidated, even though I want to do big work like walls and stuff, and like 5x5 and 10x10, and just like whole installations. I still get nervous about filling in all the space and like proportions and stuff. But that just means what, boys and girls and non-conforming friends? That means we just gotta do it more. That's what that means. That means we just gotta be in the business. Be in the business. Be on it. Oh, I didn't put the sale. just drawing today, really. Watching this come to life. Again, I don't own any of this music. I didn't even watch my stream from yesterday to see if they blocked it or not. Or the other day, I should say. Or the one from yesterday to see if they blocked it, because Chelsea's podcast. Just so much ocean, you know. It's a big bed. She's a big lady. She's a big lady. Okay. Something about this that I'm like, sure. 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 Yeah, but we're gonna color it anyway. Alright, let's see if you can see this here. I can't see. I can't see if you can see. Okay. Sure, it's a commentary on something, right? Okay. Let's do some classic. Yellow, orange, pink. Oh, forgot to get a water cup. Oh my gosh. I will be right back after these brief errands. Wait, hold on. Okay, I'm back with the water baby. Wow. I had this idea to just kind of coat the whole thing, like just color, not try to color anything individually. Excuse me. But like just be like the pink and the orange and the yellow. And then like do some like blues and some greens. Um, so that's what I'm about to do. Um, yeah, and right now, like I said, this is studio time. This is me trying stuff out. Um, seeing, probably need a bigger brush for this, honestly. And I just keep having this remembering of when I was younger and I was doing this um, for my friends and stuff. Like I would draw stuff and they would color it. You know, these things just keep coming back to me. I'm like, oh yeah, this is so familiar. This is literally what I was doing. See, don't put your drink next to your paint water because you will fuck it up almost every time. Let's see. It's kind of, yeah. The idea is just to go over it. Just the whole thing. Just go over it. And this already has the green on it, so it's a little going on there. A little blending, a little mixing, a little sun going on there. Okay. I'm gonna say it's a little crunchy. She's a little crunchy. I'm so grateful for taking like studio art classes. And I heard something the other day that was like, even if you have to take it one class at a time, like to get your degree. Um, so I think I might enroll in like a class or two um, and start working up towards my art therapy degree. because I really do see myself doing something like that. In that podcast yesterday, Lily was talking about um, how she was getting her psych degree to become a counselor. Um, and I think that would be like if she wasn't who she is and she wasn't impacting the world the way that she is. I could definitely see Lily as a counselor. Like, she would be like the favorite counselor. You feel me? Like, the kids would always be trying to go into her office. Oh, this is why this is like this, because I did not honor the space. I was like, why does this feel so like overbearing? Because it is. Yeah, we're just coloring, y'all. We're just seeing what's up with this. Some experimentation. Just really seeing how this project feels more than anything. Because that's a huge part of the experience is how it makes you feel. So we'll see. Ooh. It feels like a lot. I gotta run to the store, get some more paper. There it goes. Orange is like, you forgot me. But I must still come through. I must still come through flossing. I must still come through, hunty. Right? Don't let these haters stop you. Don't let these haters stop you, Orange. Excuse me. Okay, let's go back to the pink. Really fill this in. I hit up my friend's little sister. Well, my friend's little sister actually hit me up. I was like, Angel. I'm like, Renee. And she was like, how you been? What you doing? I'm like, I've been good. Just been what to. And I was like, oh yeah, she does like event stuff and party stuff. And I need somebody to help me promote and, you know, market and things like that. And I was like, oh, maybe we could do something. And she just never got back to me. But you know, she's a Gemini. and they will talk you up and take the exit stage left. All at the same damn time. And they'd be like, oh my gosh, I never hear from you. It's like, because you keep disappearing. Hello? 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 I'm excited to get a dog or a cat soon. And I'm going to be teaching them how to talk. Like, y'all playing. Hello? It's going to be great. I guess we can use violet. I know I got a purple. I know I got a purple. That's an orange. That's an orange. Look at it. Oh, this is a violet. I thought I had a purple. Is this a purple? That's a green. I feel like the color combination of purple and green is super underestimated and only used around Halloween. And I think we're missing out. You feel me? I feel like purple and green are like a whole like alternative vibe. Oh yeah, get it wet. It always makes something that really makes me laugh is when people are just really into like that, just bust it down, like straight up. This is for the pole music. It makes me laugh so much. I'm just like, why you know about that? What you know about that? What you doing? What you shaking over there? Mm-mm. I could put us a little bit of it in here. I feel like this would have been a good moment to leave the boats open, but tis already done. Tis what it is. Tis what it is. What it is. What it is. It is what it is. What is tis? Tis what it is what it is. Right, just do that. I'm so glad that this ink stays with the water. Like that's so like oh professional. She's like professional. She's a professional. professional. Oh, okay. She's a professional. She's a professional. She's a professional. So, how's everybody feeling about 30? I'm feeling pretty excited. I remember I used to be like, oh, look at that person turning 30. Wow, they are a whole grown up adult. They must feel so grown up adults. Here I am at 28 feeling like, what is an adult? Did somebody tell me? Does it have anything to do with the brain development thingy where it's like after when you're 25, that's when your brain's fully developed? Is that the adults or is it the 18 jam? But what does that even mean? You feel me? The age ain't nothing but a number. Something nice that I've also been realizing recently is that um, my art is my art, and whatever I create is what I create, and it was requested somewhere in the universe for it to be made, right? So people can talk all types of things, feel all types of ways, but hunty, that's too sharp. Let me tell you, hunty, I'm not the one to sit around and play. Oh, this is coming out nice. Okay. It's the blending for me. So this eye's still a little, I don't know if it's damp or if it just, that's the ink. One of my rules of cover the canvas. Just whatever. Cover it. Cover it, cover it, cover it, and then do it again. And do another one. And do another one. And do another one. In case some people get paid to do it. Right? Right? My cash app is Angelique R. Okay. ANJULIQUEART. You'll probably start seeing that up on the screen soon as well as I get into this breathing. I'm gonna make some bold decisions here. I feel like things are just a little too soft. Be real out here with me, y'all. How many of y'all sniffed markers, not the scented kind, like the Sharpie kind, growing up? How many of y'all was out here huffing pens? Oh, oh, cute. Let's see. I feel like this is the point where I would start to paint these things in. But as you can see, I did not find on that point, so I will not be painting this today. But that did remind me that I need to get them new white paint. White paint. So that they can do the things with the white paint that they need to do with the white paint. The white paint. And we put our name on it. Yeah, sweet. And then, even if we are still working, so that we can how you say, stay motivated, get their inspiration. Yeah. 5, 6, 3. Let's see, let's go. Este mató, e não tem onde vai estar. Onde matou. Yeah, I need to do more shadow work. I think that's what I'm going to study today. Would you guys mind watching some shadow work videos with me? Because I feel like that's a place in my artistic realm where I really need to study and learn and practice more. But you really can't see the colors. Which is a little upsetting to say the least, because that's the biggest part, right? Let us plug in my phone. One, I just realized, just remembered that my phone is on its bottom legs. Now you got to bust it wide open, bust it wide, bust it wide. I've just been hearing a lot of like ladies, like Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, and them ladies, just talking nasty. You're nasty. You're nasty. Let's go ahead and post this. Oops. Get you these actual colors ASAP adapt. That's my focus. I'm a honey, like she cute. I like it. I like it. I messed with it. I messed with it. It's cool. She cool. You feel me? She cool. She aight. She aight. Yeah. Aight. Yeah. She aight. My favorite thing about being black is that you don't know if that is like how I speak all the time and I'm just putting on a voice for you, or if that just pops out of me sometimes. But I like it to be a mystery. Let's see here. Yes. Next, we are going to put with a little edit on here, so that it can be very much more accurate, so they call it here. And I've had to learn to be less critical of editing. Because that's a part of the creative process and making your final work like a thing. True colors from, what's this called again? What is this called again? FRI-YAY. FRI-YAY. You know, it's so crazy because today's supposed to be like, oh, it's Friday, I got paid. Skirt, skirt, skirt. But I got paid yesterday. So, yes. Friday, I packed my papers. Kitty, 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 kitty. I was listening to that podcast and Lily was saying, that she had not watched Golden Girls, and she was like, "You're being old. Golden Girls is a good show." Like, she's tripping. I feel like if it's available because of the internet, then it doesn't matter what your age is. It really doesn't matter what your uh, ages, or if you saw it like when it was on air, or if it was Hachu, or if you're watching it now, like on syndication, or something of that night, something of that type. It's a good show. It's a really good show. My friend introduced it to me, Carrie, and she loves it. And and I like it a lot too. I mean, I'm definitely not as much of a fan as her because she's like a super fan, so I could never. Um, but boop, post. It's a really good show. It has a lot of amazing messaging and just um, characters, situations. So, um, 10 out of 10 would recommend Lily. Watching Golden Girls, you're definitely missing out. Um, it's an amazing show. Betty White is hilarious. Mm, all of them are hilarious. I was like, what? You trying to come at them for Golden Girls? Nah, son. That's where we gotta stop. Because it's a classic. Mm. Mm-hmm. I just tagged a bunch of random boat handles. Mm. But I think what I'm gonna do right now for the next 30 minutes or so is watch some shading tutorials. Or maybe I'll look up like a guide to put up. Improve your art with better shadows. Let's see. This is Cynic's design. It doesn't let me share my screen because this isn't that type of vibe. Okay.
Hey everyone, Cynics here. Today I'm going to
I don't
try
know.
and
I thought
improve
this
your
was
art
going to be a
skills by giving
girl.
you 3 tips about drawing and painting shadows.
Okay.
These are based on common mistakes that I see all the time, but they are also just a helpful checklist that you can keep in mind every time you're drawing and painting. Diving right into it, number 1 focuses on detail. So let's do a quick test. I'm going to draw a quick stylized face with a line right down the middle, implying there is a shadow covering exactly 1/2 of the face. Now, without adding any value, which side of the face is in shadow? Hopefully you're saying the one on the right. Why? Because it has less detail. Another quick test here to demonstrate again.
Well, I was saying the one on the left. I'm gonna tell you why. Hmm. Hmm. I'm gonna draw what I see here. Let's see. And I guess it makes sense. Now I'm drawing it out myself, but I guess it makes sense now. I'm drawing it out myself, but let's see. So this is basically what he drew. He was saying which side is the shadow side, and he was saying hopefully you say the lighter side because it has less detail. Um, and I was like thinking when I was first looking at it, I was like, oh, this is the side with the light on it because it's being like highlighted, kind of like blasted out. But he said, no, this is the shadow side because there's less detail. So, mind blown, right? Improving art skills. Let's go. Huzzah. Okay.
By eliminating detail entirely in certain areas, it infers in our brain that these are in shadow, especially when we know there should be detail there. I'll make a slightly fancier face drawing now to really discuss this. Now, I could just add a shadow to this without any regard to the line art, and that looks okay, but we want to really improve our skills. So let's think about this in a more painterly way and remove most of the detail that's in the shadows. Now, you could debate over which looks better, but this is mainly an exercise to train our brains into becoming more painterly and adaptive. And yes, being painterly is very fancy. So let's break down the key fundamentals going on here. Human vision consists of light rays bouncing off objects and into our eyes. The less light bouncing off of something, the less visual information we will receive from it. Therefore, less light means less details. Now, to be fair, because of bounced light, this wouldn't mean that there are no details, but art is about enhancing various aspects of vision, such as the interplays of cool and warm tones, the science of lighting, all that stuff. It's up to the artist to enhance these theories and make them a little more fancy than they are in real life. And for the record, I am leaving touches of ambient occlusion in a lot of these shadows, just a bit. Meantime,
He's like
what
doing art things while he's talking, so I'm trying to
skills. So let's
pay
think about this in a
attention.
more painterly way and remove most of the detail that's in the shadows. Now, you could debate over which looks better, but this is mainly an exercise to train our brains into becoming more painterly and adaptive. And yes, being painterly is very fancy. So let's break down the key fundamentals going on here. Human vision consists of light rays bouncing off objects and into our eyes. The less light bouncing off of something, the less visual information we will receive from it. Therefore, less light means less details. Now, to be fair, because of bounced light, this wouldn't mean that there are no details, but art is about enhancing various aspects of vision, such as the interplays of cool and warm tones, the science of lighting, all that stuff. It's up to the artist to enhance these theories and make them a little more fancy than they are in real life. And for the record, I am leaving touches of ambient occlusion in a lot of these shadows, just a bit, for science. Anyway, there is at least one important exception to be aware of, and that revolves around dynamic range. You camera nerds will probably be perking up right now because you know what I'm talking
Not a
about. But
camera
just a quick and
nerd.
ugly explanation. Have you ever walked into a dark room and not been able to see anything? At least maybe for a few minutes, and then your eyes adjust, and suddenly you can start making out details in the darkness. But oh no, someone came in and turned on a bright light, and your ability to see in the light is completely blown out, and everything is pure white. Well, this ability to see details in either just the light or just the dark is what you might refer to as a shift in the dynamic range. Technically, it's just the dilating of your pupils, but it's a similar effect, and it's a much bigger problem with cameras. Anyway, if you did have to do a very dark scene with a bright light being introduced on the character or whatever, you could represent that with a lack of detail in the light area and details that only exist in the shadows. In some sense, they're not even really shadows at that point. You can think about that on your own.
That's what I
Okay, I
thought he
talked
was
about that
talking
part a
about.
little bit too much, so let's actually paint out this face a bit. We'll zoom through this at maximum speed to get a rough pass on this painting. We're not worried too much. I'll try to fix up my skewed leaning proportions a bit. They're really pretty bad. I really should have flipped the canvas earlier on, but oh well. Anyway, as fun as it is to implement these painterly shadow ideas into your line art, these concepts are extremely important when you get to actual painting. And I'll just keep it completely honest again, a face wasn't necessarily the best place to demonstrate this idea. We are very accustomed to seeing faces in a pretty high dynamic range, especially in a portrait shot. But regardless, I guarantee this concept of painting far less detail into your shadow areas will make your larger illustrations and environment pieces, and really all of your paintings, just start to come to life. You can focus a bit more on just ambient occlusion and let those details just sink away into the shadows. You know who does a really good job at this? Well, most professionals do, but my friend Dylan Chumachat comes to mind. His life drawings tend to let the shadows just soak up all the details. Anyway, it's really going to start bringing you amazing results when the shadows of separate objects and pieces start merging together. Which brings us to our second tip, shapes. Let's be realistic, we're often not going to have the foresight to plan our shadows into our initial sketches and doodles of faces or characters. It's not completely a bad thing because it at least allows us to have full adjustable control over where the lighting actually goes. You get to make a whole new art piece on top of your previous art piece by trying to figure out the most aesthetically interesting shapes you can create with your shadows. And shadows really are great for shape design. You can approach them like a pure graphic element, a stylish second skin to be placed on top of the form. Famously, you might have heard of such ideas as the Rembrandt triangle, which I spelled wrong here for some reason, but Rembrandt was notable for often placing the lighting in such a way that the light would touch the further cheekbone and form a simple triangular shape. It's just good graphic design, trying to create simplified and appealing shapes. Now, if you're just trying to show an innocent or lovely face, you might find that you should focus on shadows that only frame the outside of the face.
It said the Rembrandt triangle. The Rembrandt triangle. Like, he's just throwing this stuff up here, y'all. I'm like, oh my god. Slow down. Did I do it? Did I do it? Can you see the triangle? And it looks like I just didn't draw half of the face. This one's actually kind of alright. This one, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on there. Hello, whomever. Thanks for hopping in. Thanks for liking the video. Okay, I appreciate you. I'm trying to figure out how to improve my shadows by watching this video. I'm saying like maybe have minimal shadows. I feel like maybe like faces is the thing I need to do right now. But I did want to do like, I have been thinking of doing like silhouette work. Um, so I'm trying to think of like how this goes into that. Because uh like how this works, because it's a little toughy. I think I will go back to school. I like the I like school. I like school, especially taking art classes because it helps me to actually, oh gosh, allows me to actually get like the feedback and the instruction on, am I doing this right? Does this look right? Does this look right? Does that look right? Does that look right? I apologize. Oh, I did not do that properly. Hold on. Let's see. It's a girl. Let's see. He just got some like neck shadow. It's also just like a matter of mm, see, I don't know. I feel like this is too much. I feel like I put too much shadow. Uh, let's see, can you see this? Like that's what he's saying. Like just add some shadow and like around, like around in these areas, and like on the neck and stuff. Yeah, it looks like her hair is like floating off her head. So maybe we'll just do like a little swoop over here, huh? Okay, there's a little something going on there, right? That makes sense. I don't know what's going on here, y'all. In any case, that's that. um, yeah, I feel like this is definitely one of those things where I have to see someone drawing it. Let's see, shadow tutorial. Um, how do I say like not digital? without saying not digital. Because it's different. Because people are like, oh, drawing shadows with the minute the digital is the same thing. You just transfer it. Bump you. Bump you. It is not the same. Oh, here we go. Here's a guy with a paper. We love it. Okay, paper.
Any equation, no problem.
Whoa. You are not sponsored. Get out of my face.
My name's Mikey and welcome
What's
back
up,
to another
Mikey?
of our beginner how to draw videos.
Thanks.
Now this is the third video in my how to draw basics series. We've done the first most important lesson you need to know, and we've also done the basic shapes and forms, which are the building blocks behind loads of complex structures. In this video, we're going to be talking about light and shadow. Essentially, when it comes to your drawings, if you understand how an object will reflect light and cast a shadow, it's really going to help you with your shading, and it's really going to make your work stand out as existing in a three-dimensional space. Now, when it comes to objects in general, everything that we see is dictated by the amount of light that bounces off of it into our eyes. And if you guys are not aware of the basics, I've done a very, very quick diagram. Science time. Here we've got a picture of the sun. Here's me, Mikey, and here's you, whoever you are. And when you look at me, what's really happening, if we imagine this is in the real world and not through a YouTube video, is that light is coming off of a light source like the sun. And that could be a lamp, it could be anything, it could be the screen of a TV. It's bouncing off the object, the Mikey, and then it's bouncing into your eyes. That's how it happens. And of course, if it's me that you're looking at, you're probably just thinking, yeah, great view, right? I can't blame you. But basically, just imagine that. If you want to know what's happening with your shadows and your shading with your characters and your work and your art in general, if you know where the light's coming from, it's really going to help you understand where all the shadows are going. And of course, you can imagine light as traveling in a straight line as a form of a wave, but really it's packets of energy, and science is a lie, so don't worry about it. So let's just start off with a fairly simple example. Now I'm going to go ahead and start by just lightly sketching out an object that we've drawn before previously. We're going to draw a cube.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to make this cube looks like it exists in a three-dimensional space. And again, the thing that's going to sell that idea is going to be the fact that it's going to cast a shadow once we understand what's going on with the light form. If you're following along at home, of course, don't worry too much about your geometrics or the shapes of your objects looking perfect. That's not what we're worrying about today. So I'm just going to relatively quickly draw out this box. And when it comes to light, you can almost think of it as a dosage. The nearer you are to the light source, the more light is going to bounce off of you or an object, and it's going to obviously be lighter and perhaps even brighter. And the further away it is from the light source, it's going to come off as being a bit darker and a bit more in shadow. So here we've got a cube. We're not going to worry too much about making it absolutely perfect, but I'm going to essentially pretend that there's a light source somewhere very vaguely, let's say up here. Somewhere over here we've got a lamp. Now, we don't have to make it too perfect, but what I'm basically trying to say is that if you know where your light source is coming from, we're going to imagine this is a very wide light source, so maybe light's coming in fairly evenly across the board. But you just need to know from the light source, go to the edge of your object and start to continue past the edge of your object to understand, that's where the light is going past it. And this is the point where the light is hitting the object and leaving the area behind in darkness, in shadow. So I can start to come up there. If I imagine a very similar thing over here, I might come off with this line as well, and come out a little bit at an angle over here. And again, because this light source is going to be high up and it's going over the object, it might very loosely stop somewhere just over here to make some kind of shape that's representative of the cube. Again, I'm not massively making this one perfect, but you kind of get the idea. And when it comes to this area of shadow that we're very, very loosely mapping out, I'm just trying to imagine that the light's going over the top of this edge of the box and casting down here, and just coming over this corner to cast maybe just a bit further.
This isn't exactly what I'm thinking of, but it's one of those things where...
Now again, your shadows don't have to be perfect, but if you've got an understanding of where these shadows are
maybe
and the different surfaces, it's really going to help you out. So before we even go into the shadow for a moment, let's talk about the surfaces of this box. There are two steps when it comes to thinking about the light source. The first step is your main light source, and the second step is all about indirect light. Now we're going to talk about that in just a moment, so don't worry too much. Let's focus firstly about a single light source. Because this is high up, I'm going to imagine there's a lot of light hitting the top of this cube. So I'm going to leave that quite nice and bright. In terms of this edge, it's relatively near the light, but it is still a little bit in shadow, but it's not completely facing in the wrong direction. So what I might consider doing is shading this part of the box here, a particular type of grey, just to show that it's not directly catching the light, but it's only slightly turned away. There might be lights from other areas, there might be light bouncing all around the room, and it's also just keeping that tone up. And then I'm going to imagine on this side, that's in a lot more darkness. So I'll just take a really quick moment to just fill that in, using my pencil's held quite far back, you'll notice, and I'm using the pencil on its side to get a very flat, large edge, which really helps me just smoothly shade a fairly large area.
I feel like
All of a
he's
sudden,
going
what
to
you
say
should notice
something very
is that this cube
useful.
all of a sudden really does start to look like it's in 3 dimensions, because each surface now has a slightly different quality,
So,
and your brain's starting to imagine that that's basically describing the amount of light it's picking up or not catching at all, i.e. left in shadow. So all of a sudden we've got that idea. And again, because we're imagining that light might be bouncing all around the place as well, when it comes to our shadow, the further away the shadow is from the object, we might not actually shade that too dark. That might be something very light that's going on. And then as we get closer to the object, because there's less of this wide space to be lit up by other ambient light sources or reflecting light, as we get closer, I'm just putting down a very base layer, not to worry. Like
not to worry.
so.
I'll just put him
And let's say that
down
again,
a
as we get closer,
baseline.
things are actually going to get darker. And this is where it all comes in, right up to the point where if we get very close to the base of our object, where the shadow is touching the object as well, be it a cube, a chair, a car, or anything you like, that's
I
probably
used
where the
to
shadow is going to
do
be
shading all
darkest.
the time.
And if you're sort of drawing various
Like I
objects
used
at
to
home, where
make
things are very light and very dark for
cubes
contrast, then you can put your shadow right next to the object,
circles, like in
almost as being black
spheres.
itself. Just imagine it being really, really dark. Basically, just imagine the heart of my ex-girlfriend, and you'll get the idea. So, okay, that's how I want you guys to think about light and shadow when it comes to simple geometric flat surfaces. But we're going to have a go with something ever so slightly more difficult, but also very, very important to talk about. Because if you get this one down, the world is your oyster. We're going to talk about just applying shadows to a curved surface and how a curved surface drops a shadow of its own and where it's catching the light and really what that's up to. Now, every time you watch any kind of tutorial on light or shading, I think this is probably the most common thing you're going to see, how to shade a sphere or a ball of some sort. I've just built this up again by using some very light line strokes, and of course we've already covered this in our other.
I think it's pretty dope. Okay. Look at it. No, he says, that's a real good cue. That's a real good cue. Boop. Oh, stop that. Keep up. Still got a little bit left. Let's see here.
Basic shapes tutorial video about how you can draw circles and other shapes. So do make sure again that you've checked that out. And whilst I'm getting the circle sorted out, if you haven't already, make sure that you've hit that subscribe button so that you can follow along with the channel for more of our how to draw videos in the future. It'd be really cool, and we can hang out for further videos. But here is our sphere, everybody. And what I'm going to imagine is that our light source this time is at less of an angle. We're talking about something very general, coming down very far away, kind of like an ambient skylight or something like that, casting down on this object. Now, what I can imagine firstly is that as the light comes down, it's going to hit this circle, and I'm going to find the edge, and imagine that that light is going to go past the circle, or past the sphere, I should say, on this side, and like the area below it. But everything on this side is catching the sphere, so it's going to leave the bottom part in shadow. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to imagine maybe the light's coming down, almost straight down here as well. And if we've got the sphere itself sitting on a surface about here, I'm going to imagine it in 3 dimensions, as if we're looking ever so slightly upwards, and we're going to use this as a bit of a guide point, losing my words there, to map out the shape of its shadow, which is going to be an oval. So again, just a flattened circle, squeezed flat as an oval shape, which I'm just changing my page around so it's a bit easier for my hands to draw the shape in, essentially. We're going to be left with something vaguely like this.
Oh, I put mine a little more sideways.
And that very, very basically is telling us where the shadow is for this particular object. Now, again, when it comes to the shadow itself, most of this is very near this circle, so this sphere. So we can just go straight ahead and start to make that fairly dark. You can go as light or as dark as you want. It always depends about the kind of scene, the drawing, or the picture that you're trying to create. And whilst I fill this in, it's always worth just saying the quickest way to get a feel for things or understand shadows and understand light is look around you every day. Sometimes in the morning it's all very flat. Sometimes in the middle of the day you get really harsh shadows cast by objects in the bright sunlight. Maybe if you're just at home in a room, you've just got one lamp on, take a look around and look at all of the shadows that objects are casting, because you get so used to them. After a while, you don't even see they're there. But if you start to really look around, you get to see a lot of stuff. So what I wanted to talk about is that with this object, obviously we know about shadows and making things maybe a little bit darker as they get a little bit closer to the objects, and they can get a little bit lighter as they're further away. But we're going to talk about how you would shape the object itself. Now, all of this area that's catching the main part of the light right here, right at the top, is essentially where you have the lightest point, which is called the highlight, and then everything else is going to shade around to be darker, except as well as the light coming down from the top. So I'm going to just start to very, very lightly just put a bit of surface texture on this.
The color
as well as the light coming down from the top,
that's what
you've
I
actually
want.
got loads
so
of light
much about
in the real world bouncing off of
shading.
everything, and you've got light as well as it bouncing off the corners of the room and hitting the object.
Because these are
You'll have
like
light that's shining
some
down,
very
bouncing off the table or the surface that this is sitting on, and bouncing
fundamental,
back up towards the object. So light may be coming down here,
which I don't mind.
bouncing up there as well. And the closer this circle is to the reflective surface, it's
But
actually
this
going
isn't
to
really
light
what
it
I'm
up
looking
ever so slightly
for.
from beneath
So
as well.
let's
And that's our secondary or our indirect light source.
change this.
And this is great to make something look 3D, but once you start to put an indirect light source as well, your brain is going to understand that as well as being more realistic. So again, what I'm going to do is just think the further away from the light, the darker we're going to go. And I'm shading this fairly quickly, so I will maybe
and then
Mazzaro, the most wanted fragrance. This scent makes me feel like I can make my own moves. I can take on anything. This fragrance is sweet, spicy, woody, like an expensive scotch. Delicious and
seductive. Oh yeah. Oh, Bob Proctor is live. It's 8 o'clock, y'all. I do actually have to get going with my day, but we're gonna look up blocking. Not color theory. How long is this? 6 minutes. Color smoothly. That's not what I want. What is this smooth coloring? Coloring book, color blocking with markers.
Well, hello heathens. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another coloring video. This one is going to be a time-lapse color with me video as opposed to a color in chat. I will probably have a color in chat coming up sometime before the end of May for those of you who prefer the long form videos, but for those of you who like quick little episodes, well, this one's for you. It probably won't be longer than about 20 minutes or so, so grab a snack, pull up a chair, grab a book if you'd like, or just watch and listen. So today's video is going to be, of course, focused on Desert Muse, which is my coloring book, obviously. Well, I say obviously because I think the vast majority of you guys have been with me for a while, but for the fresh meat who has stumbled upon my channel and this video in particular, first of all, welcome. Hello, my name is Carla. I am, of course, the namesake of this channel, and I am an illustrator, and everything that you see on my channel has been illustrated by me, and that includes the coloring books. All of the coloring books that you see featured on my channel have been illustrated and created by yours truly, so this is my work. I've released several coloring books. You can watch my channel and see all of the books. Visit my website. It's just, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere, so if you need to take a peek, there's no shortage of me on the internet. You can find it via my website, my social, all of that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get on with this lovely little lady.
She's like
so,
a
of course, I
small
mentioned this is a page
creator.
from Desert Muse. I have been loving the desert lately. It is springtime. Everything is in bloom. And within the next week or so, things are going to begin to die off, such as reality in the desert. Our summers are long and hot. Our winters and springs very short. So unfortunately, all of the beautiful blooms that bless us for what feels like 5 minutes die off faster than they appear, pretty much. And I've just been in a deserty, bloomy mood. And so on this particular day, I felt like pulling Desert Muse out of the closet and giving her a go. For today, I used, let me give you the art supply rundown. So I used the Cali Art alcohol markers, a stencil kit, hybrid dual metallic glitter pens, a Posca pen, a fine-tipped Uniball gel pen in gold, and a micron pen for details. So That's it. All of the links will be down below for the supplies if you are interested and if they're available on Amazon, because to the best of my knowledge, I don't believe that the fine tip Uniball pens are available on Amazon at the moment, at least not for a decent price. I purchased mine open stock at Michael's, FYI, so if you would like to grab a few, head down to your Michael's and grab them open stock. If your Michael's carries them, of course, because Michael's is awful. They don't carry everything at every store. Okay, so for today's piece, if you've been on my channel and you watch my videos with any frequency, you are very well aware that I am highly experimental. I do have a particular style that is recognizable. However, I enjoy making messes. I live to make a mess, and not all of the work that I film and that I produce is going to be perfect. By no means is it perfect. Every once in a while I'm going to have a piece that I absolutely love and I feel is more or less up to my standards, but if I'm being completely frank with you all, 95%, at least 95% of what I produce, I never feel is up to par. The dog agrees with what I'm saying because it's the truth. That's him squeaking his squeak toys, but it's the truth. Most of what I produce, I do not feel is up to par. It's just that, you know how it is. We are our own worst critic. That's just life. And the older I get, the more I'm understanding that it's okay. I would rather experiment and learn new techniques and learn new aspects of myself as an artist during these experimental processes than to spend my days agonizing over perfecting specific techniques. I know that this is going to rub people the wrong way, but I tend to prefer, at least for me personally, I'm not proselytizing to anyone else, but for me personally, I prefer to be a jack of all trades and a master of none rather than being a master of one sole technique or style. It's just the way my cookie crumbles. But that being said, I do certainly have a distinctive style.
You gotta explain yourself to nobody, hunty.
Well, then let's start from the beginning. So if you were to give me a piece of paper and a pencil, and I were to illustrate a figure for you, you would be able to tell that it was my artwork, regardless of what supplies or what techniques I apply on top of this pencil work to ink it and to color it. Is that making sense? So the bare bones of it are instantly recognizable as my work, but I experiment with coloring techniques, painting techniques all the time. So that always fluctuates, and I enjoy that. And I encourage all of you out there, whether you are an illustrator or a colorist, to do the same. It is very rewarding to, as I print on the back side of my books, oh, excuse me, I'm readjusting my chair. I printed on the back side of my books, I say, don't be afraid to color outside of lines, and I absolutely mean it. Experiment with new techniques, new color palettes, all of that. It's very rewarding. As I said, not everything is going perfect. It rarely is, and that's okay. One reason that I created my coloring books is so that I have fun. For this page, while I did not use materials that I'm not familiar with, you've all seen me use these materials countless times in numerous videos, I did try a color blocking technique that is a little bit different than I've done before. I have tried the color blocking technique, and I do it fairly often, actually, but I haven't done it in this way. And this is by grabbing a stencil and putting shapes on top of the page and then coloring those shapes independent of the rest of the artwork.
Oh, this isn't what I'm thinking.
So I applied the circles over top, and I colored
the pen is pretty.
Circles in different colors. You can see, I don't need to explain it. You've got two eyes, presumably. Maybe you have one. I don't know. Maybe some even have three eyes. I don't know. But you can see here that this is something that I've not done before, and I enjoyed it. I think the effect is really cool, and I will certainly be exploring this technique in the future. I did play with the layering a little bit. I did mostly solid.
I don't think this is what I want. It happens to me all the time. I go to look something up. I go to educate myself, and it's just everything but. And then I'm like, oh, that thing is cool. And then later I'll go try to look that thing up, and I can't find it again. So it's like, this is my creative journey. Yeah. So we have reached our time for today. I reached my half-hour mark. Tea. This is what we did today. I'm kind of digging this. I think this can become something. I'm getting really into like just heavy prismatic kind of scumbling ideas. I just feel like there's something so dynamic about, I feel like this is what things kind of actually look like. I don't remember the last name of the artist, but his name is Alex, and he does these very like psychedelic energy, like showing energy networks and connection and things like that. And I think what this is bringing up for me is that your eye is taking in all the colors at all the time, but there are certain atoms that exist within certain pigments that send out different wavelengths. So when they are in comparison to other colors, you pick up that wavelength as opposed to a blue wavelength as opposed to like a yellow wavelength. Um, and I think that's kind of what this is representational of, is that all the colors are there, but there are certain colors that we don't really, that we pick up more predominantly, I guess I should say. Let's get ketchup on the back. So that is the stream for today. Oh, let me share this with you guys, you all. So I got this cute little deodorant. It's called Death by Lavender by North Coast Organics. And it's 100% natural. It's aluminum free. It's cruelty free, vegan friendly. Has coconut oil, um, car carnauba wax, arrowroot powder, shea butter, baking soda. I need baking soda. And essential oils, lavender, citrus, rosemary, and cypress. Um, and they are certified organic. It costs $3. And normally, I don't want to say normally, but when you think about this and the size of it, you're like $3. I have this other one in here. This one cost me $1, but it's also 15% aluminum. And all of the other things in here, the PEG 8, C12, alkali benzonates, and cereal alcohol, and all of those different types of things that I just don't really like for my body. I'd rather just not wear deodorant, right? And I feel like the natural deodorants, they come in like those sizes and are like $10, and I'm like, that's a little bit much for me to invest right now. Especially if it's like I don't like it or if it doesn't really work. But this is like a perfect little like sample size, like test it out, see if I like it, carry it around. What I really was looking for was something small that I could kind of keep handy for when I'm on set and I can just be like, yeah, on something real fast. Um, and I see this and it's just so good and it feels like soft. I like rubbed it with my hand. It smells good. It's not like too heavy. It's not like super floral. It's like citrusy a little bit with the lavender. So it's kind of soft. It kind of has a, I'm getting that kind of little relaxing sensation from the lavender, kind of rolling around in my mind a little bit, rolling around in my senses a little bit. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm very excited. I haven't tried it out yet, but I saw it while I was putting my pens away, and I was like, oh yeah, I got this. And I also got some conditioner, some Simply Organic conditioner, some tea treatment. I took out my braids. We're gonna be redoing them. Because we got a premiere to go to on Saturday. We excited. We gonna be dressed up, and we gonna be fresh. Okay, so yes, that is what I'm up to. If you have anything that if you stuck around till this is a final countdown, thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. I hope you found this inspiring. As you can see, I am the artist and I'm still learning. So that just is what it is. Every day is a day to learn and grow and, expand your craft. So I definitely highly encourage you to do just that. I'm going to get on with the rest of my day. And I will see y'all. Oh, it's Friday. So I will see y'all on Monday. Let me check my schedule real fast. Oh, I might see y'all on Monday. Need to make this more accessible. Let's see. Yeah, my next stream is Monday at 6 p.m. So I'm gonna see y'all then. I ran a little over into my other time, but that's okay because it's Friday and it's kind of my open for work day. And what's more work than working on our craft, right? So I will see y'all on Monday. Have a beautiful weekend. Treat yourself, love yourself, grow yourself. And if you're in LA and something fun is happening, let me know. I don't know if I'll be able to join you, but let me know. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.